Radical. Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. This is the weekend of November 5th. I sold a hat for $1. I sold Madden 16 for $360 for $5. 3 comics, $1 each, $3. A bucket for $1. And that was it, outside of a game sale for $120, which I'll get into in a moment. I'll get into that in a moment. Okay. The thing that sticks out here was that one kind of annoying kid, the little future e-bagger hustler or whatever. I'm getting along with him better, but I may have snapped at him a bit. I may have. I forget. I kind of raised my voice for a moment because I think he was complaining. He was complaining about how one TV, the corner of one TV was over on another TV, slightly obscuring the screen that he was playing on. I was thinking, what a twat, Here I provide basically a free arcade, and he's complaining. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to start raising my voice to little kids that come to play at the arcade. Generally, I'm not. It's bad for business. But this just kind of gets to me and everything. Now, in sharp contrast, there was a table set up to the right of me. I think they were a Christian table. They weren't selling everything. They were selling Christianity. They basically had a website for people to go to learn about Jesus. And what was a little funny to me was the fact that I had Watch Dogs or GTA 5 that was running, at the tip of my table. Now they couldn't see, but I thought to myself, is there going to be an issue with, the kids coming by to play GTA 5 and then, the Christian table there? But I did not have an issue. In fact, I think I had switched games by that point. Maybe I didn't. In fact, their kid came over and started playing video games. So then I think to myself, oh, hell, But they were really cool. Or maybe they didn't even know what he was playing. I'm not sure. Because they were just kind of sitting to the side. And he, in a sharp contrast to the other little twat, well-dressed, had a sweater on, very sharp, slacks, well-dressed. The parents were well-dressed, well-mannered. I would say 2 of the most polite people I'd ever met. And the kid, this kid was maybe 8, 9 years old, tops. One of the most polite kids I had ever met. If I ever had a kid, this would be the kid I would want to craft. This perfect child. The kid even asked me if or how much the arcade would be, to play. And I said, no, don't worry about it. There was a guy named Eric that came by. There's something in the inside of your eye near your nose. It's really annoying. It's really painful when something gets right there. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Damn it. This guy named Eric. And he came by right after, weirdly, right after, maybe 2-3 minutes after, there was a guy that came to the table. And this was a guy I remembered. He was, I called him Con Man. I called the gaming con man, whatever I called him, right? This is the person that claimed to have all the games and know everything about everything, but when I called him on it and I said, hey, do you have Zelda 4 Swords for GameCube? And he's like, oh, I got all that. And I texted him, putting him on the spot, saying like, well, God just came by asking for that game. I'm going to need you to come by and have that game available. This guy really don't know his stuff when it comes to the games. He doesn't. I could tell that. he's more of a just a businessman. He doesn't really know anything about the games. But I think he just feels shady to me. Feels shady. The kind of guy that's just sleazy, and you can kind of tell. You can sense the sleaze from this fellow. I'll try to find it and link at the end of this to give you a little bit of a background on this guy and that flea market story. I'll try to find that and link it at the end of this. I don't want to go over a lot of that before. So this guy, he comes to the table, and first off, he starts, looking through the boxes, which I don't really appreciate. I don't appreciate that. I mean, I get it. I understand it. He's got to look for whatever, he wants to look for and everything. And after he starts looking through the boxes, I go like, yeah, you can look through the boxes if you want to. He found stuff he wanted, and I made him a deal on stuff. I told him, hey, just, whatever you'd like, pull out whatever you'd like, make a stack, and I'll make you a deal on it. I can't remember exactly everything he pulled out. I know he pulled out pretty much all the Sonics. The only Sonic he left was the Ultimate Collection. He had that one. He had DBZ Kakarot. No Call of Duties, though. So he spared the Call of Duties, which I was fine with. Had a stack of the games. Before we finished up, he saw a errant Game Boy plastic clear through seat case for a game. I shouldn't have brought it, because he picked it up, he looked at me, and he's like, where are your Game Boy games? And I said, well, I mean, that's just a case. Then he stopped me in mid-sentence. You have this. And he started looking around. There's evidence that you have Game Boy stuff. And I was like, what is this dude's deal? He's so intense. So I shouldn't have brought that Game Boy case. Made the stack. There was 18 games on the stack. Some of them, Kakarot stuff, I would probably try to sell for $20-25. If I said, hey, it's the end of the day, I make you a deal, $115. $115 for the stack. And he was like, okay, all right, And then he was looking for other stuff. And there was a game I think he threw on the stack also. Then I said, even like 120. I forget what it was. So he leaves. He goes to get money, I guess, out of the ATM. And instantly, there's a buddy of mine that I talk to regularly. And I say, hey, man, just kind of like, if you don't mind, stay close to the table. This guy seems like kind of, I don't know, something's up with this guy. And he says, oh, that dude, he's harmless, man. He's just really, really into video games. He's harmless. He is just kind of, I don't know, like he said he has some kind of like a mental tick. I'm not sure what it is. But he said he's harmless, but he's, I don't know. With me, like, sometimes when people, like, have some kind of, like, a issue, it doesn't reassure me that they're harmless. Now, I've actually talked to this guy today at the flea market, and I'll say, in hindsight, he's probably mostly kind of harmless, I would say, But his first impression is kind of strange, kind of weird. And I would say more, but I don't want to give away, some of the conversations I had about this guy today with somebody at the flea market. So anyways, he comes back, and then he does that deal for $120, which really kind of saved that day from being a really crap day. And then he asked me for the fucker. I'm going 55. I'm going 10 miles over, you motherfucker. Do you want me to get a ticket? That's the thing. I'm going 10 miles over, and people act like the cops don't patrol this area. They do. They do. You might notice like I'm on the road now because I added this earlier because I had some recorder issues. But no, they kind of saved the day. Kind of saved the day. He left me a note. Took him forever to write it on a piece of cardboard. His contact information. Talked about what kind of stuff he was into. He wanted Nintendo, Sega, Xbox, Sony, and then Yu-Gi-Oh, and then Pokemon cards, sports cards, something else, I believe. And he said he's willing to pay up to $1,000 if it's something he really likes. So, the guy does have money, I'll say that. So if I ever get in a situation to where I have a lot of stuff that I just kind of need to move real quick, and it's higher priced items, maybe out of the range of most people that go to the flea market, this guy could be very, very valuable to me. Now, will he try to lowball me on some things? Probably. But again, there's more that I learned about him today that I will save for another flea market story.